Doom, 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 doom. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. It's like everything is all set up and ready to go. Nope. Let me double check audio, which I don't think I hear right now. It might be here. Hey, everybody, what's going on? I think we're here now. Slight delay, starting a little bit late. My apologies. But hey, we're here now. Let's get things going, shall we? Gonna hang out for a couple seconds, see if we get some more people into the chat, watching the stream. And then we can go from there. That's what I'm thinking. I did put a link into the chat for my Discord if you guys want to hop into my Discord. Lots of fun things going on. I can show you what that looks like in just a second here. Let me pull that up. Put that on screen for you guys. So right here is my Discord. Got your basic, got some announcement, things going on. Some general stuff. We also have photos where people can post their photos. So we got stuff going on. Different types of editing. We got photos for critiques if people want to have their photo critiqued, such as this one, which I definitely like black and white. It's kind of black and white, little sepia, whatever it's called, over that one. But it's always fun and exciting. Go ahead and move that out of the way for now. All right. Lots of exciting things going on. You guys seen this new Sony a7 IV? The Sony a7 IV, it's a crazy camera. I don't think I'd get it. Stick with the Sony a7 IV. Or if I had the money, I'd get the the A1. That would be the way to go. But that's expensive. Too expensive, I think. All right, things are looking good. I think we're sounding good. I think we're about ready to kick it all off here. So what I got going on is I've got some volleyball images that I took a while ago, and I thought it could be kind of fun to do a quick edit of these. Get that all set up real fast here. Got about 100 or so. I think I took about 400 at the match game, whatever you want to call them. 3 sets. And I usually go through and I'll narrow that down. I've got about 100 right now we're going to take a look at. Probably won't get through all 100 of them. But it's worth a shot to see what happens. Just check this over here real fast. Let's see how things are working out right now. Looking pretty good. Pretty good. That's what I'm thinking. All right. Move you on over to my Lightroom screen real fast. There we got Lightroom. I will be editing raw files in Lightroom today instead of the usual. A lot of times, I like to, hey Matilda, what's going on? I like to, thanks for subscribing. I like to use raw files every once in a while. A lot of times I just use JPEGs because I can get through them really fast, like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. I can edit them and I can get them pushed out because you all know I'm all about getting those images pushed out to people so they can start purchasing them so you can make some more money so you can buy fancy gear like the Sony a7 IV or the A1. Or if you want to get one of the Canon products, the 1DXs, if you want to get an older 1DX too, that would be a sweet one to get too. So let's jump on into it. I'm sure people will slowly straggle in. Like I said, I did post a link to the Discord in the chat if you guys want to jump into the Discord and we can have some continuing conversation about things in that manner. All right, let me get this pulled up here. I can keep track of the stream, make sure we're not losing any frames or nothing's dropping, stuff like that. All right, so I've already imported all these. If you don't know how to do it, you go to File, go down, and you can go to Import Photos and Videos, and you can pull them into Lightroom. But I've already done that, so we'll just cancel that process. Don't need to do it twice. All righty, then we go to the Develop module. And we're going to start out with this shot right here. And obviously I'm going to need to crop in because what I thought the ball was going to be going a little bit farther back. And going to like number 8 would have been in position to get it. But number 2 stepped over and, kind of swiped it and said, "Hey, I've got this. You chill. I've got it. It's all good." Because that's what they wanted to do. Yeah, I'm still figuring things out here. I got a couple little glitches I'm seeing. Give me a second. There we go. There we go. I think we're good now. All right, yeah, so first thing I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and crop this in. I hit R to crop in. And again, I like using the diagonal crop. You can use some other ones as well. I've gone over that in previous videos. But this one, we're going to just zoom right on into where the action is, which would be those 2 right there. Now, a lot of people, which it makes me laugh sometimes, a lot of photographers, they talk about having full control over their camera, shooting manual, full manual, all control they can have. But when they get to Lightroom, they like to go over here and click auto. So why they don't mind using auto in Lightroom, but they don't want to use a lot of those features in their camera, I'm not quite sure. But so anyway, let's get back to this. All right, just going to zoom right in. We've got the focus is right here. This is where I want to focus on. It's where we want the eyes of the viewer to look at when they see this image, is right there where the action's at. All right, let's get rid of these so you guys can see a little bit more of what's going on. You can see we're going to have a nice sharp photo. Got some good squishing of the ball, which is always fun to get. So we do some of the basics. Actually, exposure doesn't look too bad. I always start with highlights. As you can see what they do, they lower the brightness of the whites, basically. And I don't like that. It kind of washes things out a little bit. And then what you can do, I also do is this. I go up and set my blacks. So I hold down the Alt key for PC. And as soon as I see the blacks coming in, I call that good. Same thing with the whites. As soon as I see some whites showing up, that's how I set those. The exposure actually is a little, it's not bad. We'll go up a little bit more. And then let's go down. We could do some color grading, lens correction. It's always fun to do. It already picked it up. And you can see it makes a little bit of difference. Lens correction takes out some of the warbling, I guess you could call it. And let's move on down to, we don't need to do any transforms. We could do some effects if we really wanted, but don't need to worry about effects either. And go down to detail. That's where we get the sharpening, and we can do some of the noise reduction. And we'll do shooting at 5,000. There's going to be a little bit of noise, so we can drop that. Smooth out the skin just a little bit. I don't like going too much. Some photographers do, but then to me it doesn't look natural. I want it to look as natural as possible. If we could throw in some sharpening to take care of some of that. Always fun and exciting things going on. Hey, Elfig, what's going on? It's probably your lunchtime, I would bet. Or is it always your lunchtime? You could do some dehazing if you wanted. Now, here's the, I got to show you guys this. Lightroom has brought some major AI stuff from Photoshop into this program, into Lightroom. Doesn't matter if you have the classic or if you have the standalone version. The masking, they've changed. I hit masking now. If you remember some of my older videos, it didn't show this. You didn't have it select 3 boxes with subject, sky, and background. So now you can easily, before you'd have to go and click, and then you'd have to click your background, then you'd have to click invert. You no longer have to do that. So if I want to work on the background, it's going to create a new mask just by me hitting the background. And it does a pretty good job picking all the backgrounds. It's got some of her in there, which I don't mind because I don't want her to be the focus anyway. And then if we wanted, we could kind of adjust the background. We can just lower it just a little bit that way, make it a little bit darker. We can take the sharpness down. Which fine, we can take care of the ball in a second. I'll show you that in a second. I'll bring that back out in a second. You can bring the colors down if you wanted. So we did. So let's do that. Now let's create another mask, and we can do select people. Watch this. It's giving me choices now. I've got this person, which it kind of picked up this individual a little bit, but that's okay. No big deal. It calls that a person, which is funny, or that person there. So it's actually picked up the people. Now, if you're doing studio work where you have cleaner backgrounds than what I have now, it works almost flawlessly. So I could pick her, and we can create a mask just on her, which will include the ball, which is fine. So I can also go through and just pick the face, body skin, eyebrows. You can do eyebrows, eye sclera, which is like the internal parts of the eye, which along with the iris and the pupil, because it's seeing the iris and the pupil. Or we could do the lips, or we could do the hair. So you could actually do quite a bit. All right, so let's just we're just going to create the entire person, make a mask on the entire person. So then I could bring this out a little bit. I could make her pop just a little bit more, give her a little more sharpness as well. And then I could drop some highlights down. Now the question is, why would you want to do this? Why would you want to do this type of masking? What would be the purpose? The purpose is it gives you more separation between your background and your subjects. Like right now, I have the background even darker than it was. So when you see the image, you pick her out right away. That's where I want the focus is on her. Now, the other cool thing you can do, because the ball was kind of messed up earlier, I can create another mask and go to Object. Select Object. Come on. I think I did the wrong one. That's okay. That's okay. So select Object. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hey, it's not giving me what I want. That's really weird. So let's delete this mask here. Okay, we don't need that one. Select background. Okay, well, that one works fine. Okay. Okay, we don't want that one though, of course. There it is. Sorry, I was hitting the wrong button. So you select the object. So now I can go right here to where the ball is. And I don't even have to be perfect. Now it's found the ball. So I can go back over here and bring the ball up to match her a little more. Give it a little more sharpness. I can even give it a little more color if I want. Just like that. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So let's mess around a little bit. If you went here to her, see where it's at. Actually, let's just end it with that one. That's pretty good. Now, it's just slight changes. I didn't do major changes to the image, but she pops out just a little bit more in the one on the after, obviously the before and after, just a little bit more. So she stands out a little more so you can see her and you're drawn to her immediately. Now, you have to play around with it a little bit to see what works best for you. Okay, well, so we spent like 20 minutes on one image. This is going to go great. Fig, it is lunchtime. You'll be lurking. All right. Thanks for lurking. Always appreciate the lurk. And also for you, for everybody out there who's watching, if you'd like to support my channel, shameless plug, you can support it this way. Slow, minor donations helps buy a coffee. Last time I got a coffee and I don't drink coffee, but it was fun. All right, so we got another photo going on. It's not bad. Let's see what it looks like if we crop in a little bit. So we could go all the way in to there. And it's okay. Not a favorite image of mine, but let's go ahead and just do some editing. Which always start there. This one I don't have to get rid of the highlights quite as much. And yes, I usually add a little more texture, clarity. I didn't do it in the last image, so soften it up, give it a little noise reduction. That's always fun. A little bit of texture. And again, if we want, we could go up here. And it found people. Did it find her, though? That's the question. So in this case, it didn't find her, probably because I'm not zoomed in enough on it. But yeah, it's not finding her. That's okay. We don't have to do it on this one. Let's move on to another image, shall we? Let's get back here. I'm going to show you something else pretty cool shortly if I find the right image. So I've got a couple of this one. That one's a little late. You can't see her face, so there's no sense even. Let's kind of get rid of that image. I've got this one and that one, which either one is fine. I kind of like that one just a little bit more. So let's edit this one real fast. And again, we can go nice and tight. Probably come down just a little bit more, just like that. It doesn't look quite good, in my opinion. So I'm coming down a little bit farther. Now, when you're editing these, there are several ways to edit it. You can either do nice and tight like that, or sometimes the players, they want to see everything. They want to see their stance, how they're looking. So let's do that one like that. And again, what I can do is I can go up here and do a mask. And you can do this in any manner you want. You can either start with the subject or you can do the background. And on this one, it considers the ball part of the background, but we can fix that shortly. But otherwise, it's done a good job of just picking her out. So we can drop the background. Again, see if I go too dark, you kind of lose her a little bit and it doesn't look quite as good. But definitely dropping down the things and making it look a little more blurry, kind of blown out, as we like to say, comes in very handy. Even the clarity. See, now it looks, you can see the difference in the two images. She pops a little more in this, but we're not done yet. So we're going to create another new mask. We're going to go to select people. It should find her really fast, and it did. And you can see in this case, it did a great job of selecting just her. It's like we may have another, that's part of her hair. Okay, that's cool. We can deal with that. And again, we can go through, just do the face, body, skin, lips. We can do everything. I usually do the entire person when I'm doing sports photography, because that's what I want, is everybody that's in there. I want to be able to see them so I can pick them out. So we can brighten her up just a little bit. Drop some highlights. Add a little texture to her. A little sharpness. And then, of course, since we're shooting at a high ISO, let's go ahead and smooth things out just a little bit. I think I'm probably going to up the exposure just a little bit more. Now, the problem with it is obviously the ball doesn't look right. It's just kind of lost up there, but that's okay. We can fix that. Just go to Object and go, boop, and it's selected the object perfectly. And then we could go here, do the ball. Again, we can give a little bit more color to it. And then we can sharpen it up a little bit. Add a little texture first. Kind of sharpen it up. And then drop out. Again, there you got the before and after. I think I lightened her up just a little too much. Lost a little bit of texture in the ball. I have to go back. I can fix that later. I'm just kind of going through these so you guys have an idea of some of the process that I use. Like this one's okay, not a great photo. I don't mind it. Let's see what we can do with it, shall we? Now, here's what I don't like about the photo. See what's in the background? It's coming out of her face. I don't like that. I can get rid of it, but the question is, should you get rid of it? Now, if you're doing this for editorial purposes, you're not supposed to get rid of stuff like that. So we're not going to. So we're going to move on to the next image. So this could be a good one to see how tight we can get, because the ball's close to her. You can have her coming out of the frame and leading her into the other side of the frame. I think I'd probably go a little more this way. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. And we can start our masking process once again. I'm going to start with the subject this time. We'll see if it picks up. See, it just picked up her and the ball. The ball's close enough to her hand where it just picked those things up, which is perfect. Exactly what we want. So then I can brighten her up. Let's drop those highlights. Make it look a little more natural that way. We could even give her uniform a little more color to it. Even though the colors you're seeing are almost perfect coming out of the Sony a7 IV, which is the camera that I used. It's pretty much what I saw. Jump down, a little bit of noise reduction, a little bit of sharpening. And yes, when you sharpen, you add a little more noise back into it. But the way I do it, it does a great job. We get a little texture to it as well. And sometimes if you want, you can go down to the dehaze and just see what it does. Not doing much good. All right, so we're going to create another mask. We're going to select the background, which is good. See? Truthfully, you could really just go down and just get rid of the brightness. Probably wouldn't have to do anything more than that. Or you make it black and white, grayscale. Now, here's a couple other things you can do. You've got the healing little guy right here. Now, they've changed this as well. You got your basics, but you have this one right here. Content aware remove. So I can go over here to the light. And yes, this is kind of like normal stuff, right? You expect to happen. But now, you don't have the light quite as bright. It's still too much for me. So truthfully, what I would probably do with this, okay, we could do a couple things. We could go here and make this just a little bit bigger. And see if it will get rid of the light altogether. I'm probably going to mess it all up even more. Yeah, I'm not liking that one. So see, there it is back. If you could do it, you could do it slowly. See, that's a hard one to get rid of, that bright light, because of what it's doing. So I'm not going to worry about that one yet. It would take me a little more time to get rid of it. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I think it looks terrible. And that's the fun thing. They made some updates. Adobe's made updates to Lightroom. And for specific instances, it works great. Other instances, it doesn't quite work. I'm going to go give it a little farther, see what it does. See, now it's getting crazy. It doesn't like that at all. Going a little bit smaller. Yes, I could mask the light by itself. And I did think about doing that. I could go back here, get rid of the healing. That was the other thing I was thinking of doing. I could either use the content aware or I could mask it out. You just have to create the object right there, and you can just come down. Now, do you mask? The question is, do you mask the entire area or just the light itself? Because it's still going to be bright. Because it's so bright, it can't handle it. Yeah. Look, we learned something new. This is one I may have to send Adobe something and saying, hey, this just isn't working on this. It's too bright. But anyway, you see what you can do. So let's try something else. Let's test something else out. We're going to create an object mask. Let's see if we can get rid of this up here. So you probably need to go pretty wide. Let's see how good it does on that. Oh, wait, we didn't want to do a mask, did we? Oh, oops, yeah, I don't want to do a mask on that. Let's try the helium on that one. Yeah, let's do that. That could be fun. All right, so let's get this kind of big here and see if we can get rid of this whole thing. Now, in the old days, what Lightroom would, or what Photoshop would do, it just kind of pick a spot. Didn't really pay attention to what was going on with the image. It would just pick a spot and try and match it up as best it could. But the new one now is supposed to actually be aware of where it's at. And like that one there, that's so much better. This one here, you wouldn't know the basket was up there. You would just think there's something wrong with the wall. Yeah, you could go through and you could spend a little more time cleaning it up, but I don't really see a reason to. So that one's not any good. Let's get rid of that one. This one we got because I think I have a couple of these. Because you got everybody cheering. Yeah. Nothing exciting though. Sometimes you take a photo and you just don't like how it looks. You're trying to capture certain things like celebrations. So we can do this one now though. We can go like that. That's all we need in this image is those couple right there. We can drop down some highlights again. Exposure's down just a little bit. Some noise reduction. A little bit of texture. And yes, we could do some masking again. And, oops, I didn't want to do a subject. Yeah, we want to do a subject. Let's see who it picks out. Ooh, who's it going to pick out? All of them? Or just her? Oh, it picked out almost all of them. That's actually fine. Since they're so close together. See, now we can go like that, which that's a little too bright probably. I want to go down a little texture to it. I like adding texture and maybe a little clarity. There we go. And we go down here to saturation. Get a little more color there. Don't want to mess with the hue though. That makes things look weird. The things you can do are so much fun. See, in this one, see the background? It's kind of prominent. You can actually see it. So let's select background this time. And again, we just drop it down. Oh, it's picked her up a little bit. Crazy. So we're not going to be able to go to. I wonder why I did that. Look at that. It's actually picked her up on the background. So it's gotten better. The AI's gotten a lot better. Probably, I think they need to work on it just a little bit more in situations like this. Well, look who shows up. It's Sean. Yes, I did try to call you. Unfortunately, after a couple rings, it went dead. I don't like those. That one's kind of cool. This one I like. This is one of those cases when you get down nice and low, close to the net. Now this one you can't go by the background for the on if it's horizontal because that's not going to work because of the angle I'm at. This is probably the best image so far. I really like how this one's looking. Now, on my placement, on my positioning on this one, I was between the scores table and the bench, the home team bench. Actually, that's the visiting team's bench because they were on this side. And you can get some great shots, nice and low, but you have to be careful of one thing in high school basketball. In that little area that you're going to be sitting in, that's a live area. So the official can actually ask you to move. And I saw the official and I talked to them about it, and they were okay with me being there as long as I promised I would get out of the way fast if I needed to. So yeah, so where I'm at, as long as the ball's in the air, it's still live. So they can run right through that little opening and save the ball as long as it doesn't touch anybody out of bounds. They can be out of bounds, was fine, which I still think that's kind of weird. But so I have to make sure I can move really fast. And I'm getting older, but I'm still kind of quick. All right, so where are we at? We did that. Let's a little bit of noise reduction. Just a little bit. What the heck? A little bit of sharpening. And again, if we want to have some fun with some masking, we'll see how it does on this image. Still learning their masking. Their new masking is kind of interesting, so I've been playing with it a lot. I'm going to start with the background this time. Let's see what it decides is the background. Is it going to pick up the ball as well? It did. So it thinks the ball is the background and some of her hair, which is fine. That's fine with me. And I could spend a lot of time and really go through and pick this out perfectly, but you know what? That's not how I work. But you can see here on this one, when I drop down the background, she really starts standing out. So let's select people. Let's see if it picks up one or two people on this one. So it picked up her and it picked up her. So we just want this one. The whole thing, the entire person, which is fine. So we can bring the exposure up. Now see in this image, this is working so good. It is looking really good. Sharpen her up a little bit. Yes, the ball is not lit yet, but we can take care of that. A little bit of texture. All right, so now let's go back up and do another mask. We're going to select object. All right, make sure I pick the right object. Last time I did it. So then I can go to the ball, put the little circle around the ball. Make sure I get all of them. I don't have to get it perfect. I can just do that. And detecting, and boom, it's got the ball. So now I can bring the ball back up. Not the highlights. What am I doing? There we go. Back up to exposure. And I can brighten that up to kind of match her now. I don't have to worry about noise reduction on the ball because that's not that big of a deal, but I do want to make sure there's some sharpness on it. And again, we can do this and add, we could change the color or add a little more color to it if we wanted. Again, if you're doing it for editorial, newspaper publishing that, you can't mess with that type of thing. Excuse me. All right, so see, that one's cool. We can move along now. Moving along. Probably going to do like an hour stream today, just kind of testing things out in the middle of the day, see how many people are up and about and having some fun. And again, if anybody has Discord, there's the link to the Discord. Now, normally I'd have some fun music in the background, but thanks to YouTube, I can only do certain music, and I don't want to get the stream in trouble. You know, get you guys in trouble too, maybe. It might happen. All right, where are we at? Let's move it along. Okay, so here's an image I want to talk about real fast. So it's kind of cool. It's got some action going on in it. But it's an image I will not use. Let's see if you can figure out why. I'm not going to really edit it because I can't do much with it. Do you see why? Do you see in this image why I would not use this image? It says high school kids, high school girls. I would never, ever use this image. Okay, I guess I shouldn't say that. If the newspaper really wanted it and paid me enough, nope, I still wouldn't use it. I'm not going to do that. What? Sean's working? Sean, you don't work. Come on. Tell the truth. Anyway, this image, why would I not use this? It's almost in the center of the frame. Okay, let's just jump right to it. Right there. The face that she is making is not flattering at all to her. In fact, this is an image I would probably just delete and get rid of altogether because I would never use it. I would never let anybody see this image, except you guys, of course. The millions of viewers I have right now, they get to look at this image. But yeah, so that one, I would never use this one. because of that. And yeah, good guess, eyes closed. I like the eyes to be open, but in this case, I don't mind, but it's the face she's making. She would not like that if she ever saw it, which she would. Because, everybody checks out my images after games. Sean is on 2 computers at one time. I'm on 1 computer with 3 monitors. How's that? All right, let's move along, shall we? Oh, this is just a cute little photo. Nothing exciting going on. A parent might like it. I don't feel like editing that one. All right, so now we got some crowd shots. Crowd shots are always fun. So you got stuff going on. All righty. Yeah. Not really feeling that one. That's good. They laugh about it. I've done some of those images, and yeah, they weren't very happy with them. And my images get pushed out to like everybody though, and not just that specific group. So maybe that's it. Yep. Alrighty, let's just crop into this one a little bit. Let's just see how it's looking here, shall we? Kind of cool. Again, man, this is not one of my favorite gyms. And also on the Sony A7 IV, I like to test things out on it because I don't just take photos. I evaluate cameras and talk about them as well. And I used a different shooting style. I think it was standard on this camera. So a lot of the images came out a little flatter looking than what I am used to. Let's bring up the shadows a little bit. Again, this is a shot I would use. Yeah, I'm probably sure you could get away with using that. From what I've found, these type of images for the clientele I have in this area, they wouldn't like that image. They wouldn't care about it at all. And so it's why I've learned to spend the time where I need to spend the time and not worry about anything else. Like, see this one, I just don't. Using a standard profile on the A7 IV, I really don't like because it really flattened the images out more than it should have. And yes, I'm shooting raw anyway, so it's already going to look flat out of the camera. So yeah, I'm not going to boost the color saturation in the camera because I would have to change it for every single gym that I went to. Because there's one gym that I think you've seen it. I've seen some images of the floor is so yellow. If I boost the saturation, that floor is really going to look bad. That's more work for me in post-processing to tone that down. And so these ones I really should do more work to. I don't really think I want to. I could do more color grading with it, but you know what? Yeah. Holding the banner, they'd like, yeah, I probably would. I've got some more shots coming up of them. That's more of a straight on shot, which will look a lot better. Now, some of you know, I've been trying to work on shots like this. It doesn't show a face. Well, let me tell you, it kind of shows. It shows kind of the school name, State, and I try and get that to show up a little better. Because sometimes even the shots that don't have the face in it can be used. But yes, in sports photography, you're always trying to get the face, the eyes, the ball in most of the shots, but you don't always have to. Like this one could be used because it doesn't show her face, so this could be used for all kinds of publications for the school's use. Let's see what this one looks like. It's cropping a little bit more. Yeah, sorry, Sean. There's a little bit of delay on me reading your guys' stuff. So. And truthfully, I'd rather not have to change my camera settings every time because I know I can do a specific setting in there, which is one I usually use, and it will bring out the colors and everything I want without me having to adjust every single game. So this is kind of fun. It picked out her down there, picked out that one and that one. And that's like all of them there. That's kind of funny. Masking is kind of cool. I think it's kind of fun to work with because you're always learning something new. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that one right now. I'm not in the mood to keep masking. Only got about 15 minutes left, so let's pump through some more images real fast. A little bit of texture on this one. Maybe on one of the images I'll take a little more time with. Probably not, but I might. Like, see, that would be good enough to sell right there. Nice little side shot. To get her eyes looking at just the right spot. Now, interesting thing, I'm shooting at 12/50th of a second, and the ball still has a little bit of a blur on it. You know, they say keep that shutter speed up. Should be at least 1,000 to stop things from being blurry. But even then, sometimes, because it just came off of her arms, it's going to have a little bit of blur to it. And as most of you know, that's okay with me. I like it. It kind of adds to the image. Yes, sometimes I want really tack sharp. Just every piece of the image should look perfect. But for what most people like, they're not really concerned about that. Now, if you're shooting for a publication, say Sports Illustrated, something like that, yeah, they want specific things. They want you to grab specific images and they need to look a specific way. And if they don't, too bad. I'll drop that noise reduction back down. Yeah, and one of the main reasons I like the post process is because I like to try and find my own style. I want it to be when someone sees the image, they're like, hey, I know who did this image. Like this one right here again, we can go like that. And we can drop the background out just a little more. And then I will select my subjects, which should pick her up perfectly. See, and then I can just brighten her up a little bit. Let me get rid of those and we can go down. You can give uniform a little more color. I can change the color, which is always fun to do. Nothing like changing the color. What color do you want your uniforms to be today? And again, I can go, oh, wrong one. That shadow's fine. Brighten up the ball so it kind of matches her as well. And again, we could go up and make the color of the ball a little better if we want to. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of those too. They actually like a little bit of the blur, which I kind of like it in some of the images. Not every image. And I can be kind of picky on my images sometimes. Sometimes I'm not near as picky as I probably should be. Like this one, I just don't like. Can't give you a good explanation, just don't like it. I just want to see what this does here. I don't think I'm going to get it to do what I want. Oh, maybe. Yes, horizon's off on this because I did this real fast. Some exposure on this one, get rid of the highlights, a little texture. This one I can soften a little bit more because it's people in the stands. And yeah, some people don't have time to post process. But you've seen, even when I do, if I'm in the mood to do JPEGs, I can do it within 10 seconds. And I don't push all the images out. I know you put all your images out basically. I don't. Because that's not my clientele. I'm not doing that type of shooting. So it's okay. This one, nothing exciting. You got the kids in the stand, which I know they will like this one. So let's just kind of brighten it up so they can really see who they are. Let's not do any artistic touches to it. Yeah, just leave it like that. Don't care for that one. That one didn't quite capture her like I was hoping it would. Yeah, this one's okay. Just think though, we got basketball season coming up. Ooh, basketball. Yeah. Yeah, basketball, you get to sit in one place the entire game. Just take photos. All right, let's play with the masking one more time. And it's detecting. All right, here we go. Here we go. So I can drop that down a little bit to where you still know what's going on. You know, get rid of the sharpness. You can even add a little noise if you wanted, but I'm dropping the texture, dropping the clarity. We're going to select people. Your laptop battery died. Plug it in. Plug in the laptop. We select the person. And it did a pretty good job of selecting the person, which is nice. Create a mask. And again, we go through, we can just kind of brighten her up a little bit. If you get too crazy though, you see what it does? It has like a little shadow area in some of the spots. Just want a little touch. You don't need very much. It does just enough. Nice compression on the ball. You can see the masking didn't quite capture up here though. It's a little bit off, which is fine. Which is fine. I'll be back. Did you just really say, I'll be back? You know, I read that and that's how I heard it in my head. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger saying, I'll be back. And did you guys hear about the photography game that's coming out? If you guys are into gaming, there's a photography game coming out. It's aimed at wildlife photography. Sounds interesting. Looks kind of interesting. Kind of excited for it. I will for sure check it out. I might purchase it. We'll see. Missed that one. This one's kind of fun. It's just kind of a candid shot. Don't have to do too much editing to it. Drop down some highlights. There we go. A bit of contrast. Let's add a little texture to it. A little bit of noise reduction. I think her skin tone's not bad. I want to change it just a little bit. Oops, wrong one. Let's go up to this one. Let me select orange. Okay. That was not doing it. Usually it's the saturation that takes care of that. Brightness. that the one posted in Discord? The photography game? Yes, I believe that's the one that's in Discord. Yeah. And I've thrown it out there a couple times, but we'll do it one more time. There's the link to the Discord. Got like 20 members in there. Everybody's cordial and fun. We have a great time. Especially showing everybody our images to see what we come up with for the week, or talk about different gear, different cameras that are coming out. Goodbye, highlights. A little more sharpening. That's a little bit of noise reduction. Still looks a little dark. So let me see here. So, interesting. Picked up the focus here. That's in focus. She's a little off, probably because she's moving. Yes, I did try calling you. Answer that question earlier. I did try calling you. It rang and then went dead. I didn't hear anything. So I had a couple minutes to spare before stream. I thought, hey, what the heck? I'm not liking that one. Candid shot at the coaches. A coach, anyway. Ooh, let's not quite go that tight, shall we? Open that up just a little bit more. What's a Discord? How do I explain Discord? Well, let's just do this. All right, I'm just going to take this from Wikipedia and do that. Did I see Nick? Okay, I didn't like me doing that. So let me cut it. Let me cut this down a little bit. Anybody got a good quick definition of Discord? We can do this. See if I can do this. There's part of what I could get from Wikipedia. So it's just a fun place everybody can get together and chat. Sometimes you can chat in real time, which I will probably be doing that next year a little more. I'll just jump in. You'll be able to talk to me anytime you want. Well, if I'm on in chat, of course. Here, let me do this again, since you probably missed it. Where it is. Let me show you my chat. So this right here is the Discord. This one is my Discord. Let me do this here. Grab a quick drink. So I've got a place for announcements. I have a read this first, which gives you the basic guidelines. So let's go to the display there. So you got the basic guidelines, read this first, then we got a place for announcements, where I usually put my announcements, which I failed to say I was going live right now, but that's okay. Then there's a general spot where people can post different things. Excuse me, we have a photo of an ant right here, taken under a microscope, really cool looking. Some other comments, talking about the cannons, editing stuff, put out my latest video. And we have a spot for photos. Everybody can put any photos they want. Sports related, we kind of talk about them. Sometimes there's input. Sometimes I throw out assignments, or sometimes I'll throw out an image and say, hey, edit this one for me. Which I think that's what that was, yeah. Then we have critiques. You can critique right there. Equipment to review. No one wants that right now. If there's any equipment that anybody wants me to review, I can do that one. Some videos. And then we have non-sports photos. We have some creative people in the Discord. Some great stuff that's really fun to look at. So just general stuff that people get into, which is always kind of fun and exciting. But let's move on. All right, Figgy, there's somebody in this picture, you know, his brother. Let's put it that way. I'll give you a second, see if you can see who it is. Lighten it up for you a little bit. Oh, I probably should straighten it because this was a random shot. Don't have to say the name. Just let me know if you recognize anybody. Boom. Oh, voice chats. I should show voice chats, should I? Go back to the general. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. General. All right, there's general. Did you just post that in there? There you go. That's Figgy live, waving hi. She is hysterical. Yeah, macro photography. I really like macro photography. I don't know if see if I put any of mine on here. We did the plane series. I threw out this. It was flew over a game. Then Eric threw out that one. Some great photos here. Sports ones are really good. I love seeing these. Umps. Started talking about referees. I don't think I have any of the macro ones in here. Yeah, so anyway, let's go to, then we have a voice channel. Looks like right here, I'm in the voice channel. This turns green when I'm speaking, and I could invite somebody in, or if they're in Discord at the time, they can just click in here. We can start talking in real time. Use it a lot for gaming more than this, but I'd like to use it with this a little bit more. So maybe anytime I'm at my desk and I've got free time, I can just jump into chat and we can just talk. Doesn't cost anything. We just kind of hang out. Uh-oh. And look, Figgy just jumped into chat, and that's her right there. So if I had Discord going through my stream, you could hear her talking if she was talking to me. But got both of us in the chat right now. It's kind of fun. So we could, in real time, we could be talking about anything we wanted. And if you wanted, you could always turn on your camera and you could see the other person, or you could see me. So it's kind of fun. We have a great time. Entomology. Oh, you like the really close-up stuff. Why not use the phone? I don't like using the phone. I really don't. I would use Discord over the phone anytime. And plus, in Discord, we could have 5 people chatting about photography. On the phone, you'd have to invite people in. I can't just talk to 5 people at once. And if you wanted to share a quick file, show a quick photo, you can't do that as well on the phone. I could do it in Discord within a few seconds. So for me, Discord would be the way to go and would be great. So you should look into it, Sean. You got to catch up with the times here, man. Let's get you going. And Nick, if you didn't hear me say it, hi, Nick. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, and yes, Figgy, that is the fraternal twin. Pretty obvious, right? So, all right, let's do a few more photos before I have to take off. But yeah, Sean, if you got Discord and you saw me in, I would be talking all the time. All right. This should be a fun one. I like this one. I'm going to do the full thing. One thing I hate about shooting in high school, you got the baskets in the background. The background is just messy and it's not much fun. I don't like it. But you do what you got to do and you deal with what you have to deal with, right? Only control your own craziness. That's what I'm thinking. Like in this one, you kind of lose the ball on that. Let's do a mask on this just for fun. Eric, what is going on? How you doing today? And I would bet Sean on his laptop has a microphone, so you can do Discord on that as well. A little bit of background. All right, let's dump this down. I'm going to do a quick one here. I'm not in the mood to spend a lot of time. So I'm going to select my person. There we go. I'm going to create a quick mask. Do the whole thing. Well, to me, Sean, if I'm not having fun doing what I'm doing, I don't care how much I'm getting paid. Some contrast. Sharpness. Just going to make her pop just a little bit more. Almost looks like she has a spotlight on her, though, doesn't it? So let's drop the exposure down a little bit. Just a little. All right, let's do objects. I'm going to do objects so I can select the ball. And I have had jobs that I didn't like, that I had some good money coming in, and I didn't stay with those jobs very long. Oops, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There we go. See, lighten that up a little bit, kind of matches her. Now you can see how it separates. They're separated a little bit more from the background. They're not quite, because you got the darks right behind her, and she's blending in with it. So I mask that a little bit darker and make her a little bit brighter, so she stands out a little bit more now. And I could dive in even deeper. Quick work break. Well, thanks for stopping by, Eric. I appreciate that. Always fun having you around. So the vast majority of people don't do their jobs because they enjoy it, not to bring things down, but that is true. Yes, that is very true. But there's also quite a few people who do enjoy their jobs. I was a bicycle mechanic for about 7-8 years, and I loved that job. It was a blast. McDonald's I'd never work at. Actually, they would never hire me. I have hit times when I've had to apply for jobs I wouldn't want to do. And the funny thing is, because of the education I had, they wouldn't look at me. They said I was more than likely to leave as soon as I got a better job, which is true. And yeah, probably most McDonald's workers aren't working for the fun of it. I do know some managers and district managers actually do enjoy what they're doing. Okay, we're just going to do a quickie on this one. Nothing exciting because I'm going to start winding things down a little bit. Let me close this over here. And again, in case you do want to support the stream, you can do that there. Yes, shameless plug. Got to do them every once in a while. You always got to promote yourself. Can't just fall into the background of life and let it pass you by without trying stuff. See, this one I could blacken, darken the background a little bit. Don't see any reason to, so. Which is cool. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's move on to another one. That's a little closer up. I don't care for that one, though. This one's kind of fun. Let's see what we can do here. Too tight. Oh, that's way too tight. Is that, what? Jasmina. Who the heck is Jasmina? Oh, cool. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. That was nice of you. All right. Highlights down as usual. Sharpening, quick little noise reduction. And we'll move along. I always like seeing students taking photos. And she seemed to be having fun. All right, let's get back to this one now. Let's crop this one in big time, shall we? Her eyes open. Oh, they are. Eyes are open. Noise reduction. Do some quick stuff. Drop those highlights. All right, Eric, duty calls. Thank you very much once again for stopping by. Appreciate it. And probably see you in Discord again. And you want to see some more of your photos, some of those images you've been taking. So see, Sean, so you get to travel and have fun, hang out with the younger crowds, and they appreciate what you're doing. That's key. It's always good to be appreciated for the work that you're putting out there. All right, just for fun. Just for fun. I'm going to tone down the background. Wasn't going to do it anymore, but I'm just in the mood to do it with this one. And truthfully, you could probably, let's go down here first. See, even if you get rid of just some of the texture and the clarity, it kind of blurs it out quite a bit by itself. And even the sharpness, and then you could still, you just keep dropping things down. You know, you can just do quick stuff like that. You don't hang out with them. Are you taking photos of them all the time? All right, I'm going to pick one more image. That will be the last one I'm going to do. Oh, wait. Is this the one? Oop, get back. That one's kind of fun. This one. This one. Let's see. What do I want to do? I'll look at this one real fast. Another nice clean shot. Okay. I noticed at this game, so many of the players were facing the wrong direction. They're like always hitting the ball over their heads, or they're at a side, they're at an angle. It's crazy how they do that. Sometimes they just don't do the things they want to do. Hey, Jack, what's going on? It's hard to get full faces in volleyball when you're on the same side as the hit. It is hard, yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's, as you know, in volleyball, you got to move around a lot and trying to get different angles. Then you have to make sure you're not in the way of anybody, or the officials might look at you wrong and say you can't be there. Or if you are, you got to be able to move quickly. Yeah, so I roam around. There's so many different angles and spots, and there is one gym that I shot in. I didn't shoot in there this year. I probably slacked a little bit. It's a really dark gym, and you can only get 3 different angles basically. You only the full court is only 3 sides you can shoot from, and you're leaning up against the wall because there's not much room between you, maybe 2 feet between you and the end line. So you're really just kind of, I usually, there's where the locker rooms are at, there's a hallway there, and I usually kind of tuck myself in the hallway and just kind of shoot around the corner, because the officials don't like me being right by that wall, because that's kind of the part of the playing surface. But, you know, I was kicking the ball up in the air. Really? That's funny. Wasn't one of those mountain towns, was it? They do crazy things up there. Oh, what am I even doing now? All right. It's been cold. It's been the high 70s in Phoenix. We've been in the 50s, low 50s here in Oregon, where we're at. Rain too. So it hasn't been terrible, truthfully. I did always like it, like the mountain teams for football go down basically over Thanksgiving is when they go down to the valley for their playoffs. That was always kind of fun. It's always kind of fun because you get out of the bad weather. Usually you get out of the bad weather anyway, but sometimes you don't. What the heck am I doing with this image? I don't know. But Figgy, you missed a good Mexican food? There's no good Mexican food in Phoenix. Right? So maybe Pete's. Pete's is pretty good. All right. Back to it. All right, one more image, and then that will be the last one. I'm not seeing any I really like, though. You know, sometimes shooting volleyball, you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Just at the wrong angle. So yeah, let me show you here. Let's see if I got it. It's the wrong side. Okay, so like on this shot here, you see the space? It's right next to the scores table. And then the team bench is just right over here, not too far. That's the space I like to tuck in. I get really close to either the scores table. If the person at the scores table doesn't mind it, I get really close there to get some good angles, different angles. Or I move closer to the bench and get as close as I can. You get some great team shots as well as coaches' shots. That's the spot where you got to be careful because that's still in play as long as the ball is in the air. So if you're sitting there, you need to be able to move. Or they'll ask you to move because you're too slow and they want you out of the way. So, but yeah. All right. One more photo. That's a random thought. I think he's good at random thoughts. Pizza's not Mexican. No, but it does offer Mexican food. So what else we got? Hispanic kids were playing. The ref got tired of it after a while. Apparently it's legal to do it to stop the ball from hitting the ground at the last second of this kid. Yeah, it is legal to do it. But I could see why the ref would kind of say, you know what? Enough of this. Yes, I usually do a Monday night stream, but I was looking at my Google Analytics and it said Wednesdays at 1 p.m. is when my people are on YouTube the most. So I thought, hey, what the heck? I've got this Wednesday. Let me give it a shot. Something a little bit different. Mix it up a little bit. We'll see if Google knows what it's talking about. And, I don't think I've ever seen anybody kick the ball. Maybe once. Yeah, it's kind of just out of frustration kind of kicking it. But especially do it regularly. Yeah, it's legal, but yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. $16mm handy, yep. Yeah, I've got a 20mm I use sometimes, not too often. Actually, Figgy, I believe it is legal, and it's been legal for a few years now. So, kind of crazy, but yeah. You just can't grab it with your hands and help it up. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to put my gear on the score table because they are too busy and they would not like that. They would not appreciate that one bit. And again, like I said, the officials do give me that look like, okay, you can be there, but you better be able to move. And at this game you're seeing here, I actually had that conversation. The official looked at me and I kind of like, yeah, I can move. And then she was like, okay. But that's weird. I've really maybe once have seen somebody kick the volleyball. Trying to think here. That's yeah. I think maybe once. Maybe once. Um, Jack, no, I haven't. I saw your video and I didn't get a chance to watch it yet about that. Sounds interesting. I definitely want to look into it because always looking at new things to work out. Like I want to do a stream maybe using a free photo editing software called Darktable. Looks interesting. Thought I'd give it a try out. You never know. I don't know what it can do. I looked into it. I threw some images into it one day and was like, I'm not in the mood to dive into this and learn something new. But yeah, I saw yours and I was thinking, yeah, I should take a look at that because it could come in handy. Just kind of run it through the process and be able to clean things up even more. Yeah, Sean, I bet you have seen a lot of weird things, and you've been through several states, and like you said, Canada. So I bet there's all kinds of crazy things that happen out there. But I already did that. Okay. Oh, I wanted to look at this one again. Now this one, I'd like to get rid of that. I like to keep her height in there because it shows how high she's jumping. But you get some good lo-fi music going. That's YouTube approved. So I can need some tunes going. We need some background music. But hey, thanks, V. Have a good rest of your day. Hope work goes well for you. Maybe we can do some gaming this weekend. Take out some zombies or something. So you got Photo Lab, which is a photo editor, then the Raw 2, which is standalone. Yeah, I got that. And Photo Lab has a good built-in. I'll look into that. I'll check it out. And like I say, I'm always looking for a new program. Anything. I like Lightroom. It does what I need it to do. And their features are always being updated. And truthfully, I don't mind the subscription price. It's pretty cheap. So it's not that big of a deal to me. But I do like learning new programs and trying them out because there's always something good going on. I mean, Photoshop would be really fun to really dive deep into, but I just don't want to. Let's see what people this picks up here. And I don't know if you saw this, Jack, but Lightroom's updated. They brought some of the AI features from Photoshop into Lightroom. Like if I do a mask on people, it actually picks out the people. And it will show them. If I have I'll show you something in a second here. So I can pick out the person. It separates the So anyway, okay, what do we got going on? You made a YouTube video on how to have what? A video on how I have to get a new clutch. You have to get a new clutch. Okay, so let me show you guys something real quick here. Let's go to library. Go to the library. I should have some football ones and Oak Ridge, I believe it was. Maybe. Let's see if we can find it here. Scroll through these. Come on. I think I missed it. Let me show you something kind of cool that Lightroom does. So if it's new, it picks out people. And for the most part, it does a really good job. Some instances, not quite as good, but overall, it's come a long way. Let's put it that way from what it used to be. Come on. Wow, where'd it go? No. Okay, that's strange. Yeah, it would be kind of nice. Just, like you said, load the pictures up, send it out to everybody. And many years ago when we spoke, many years ago, I looked into doing that in the area I was in. Nobody was interested in the service. And the couple places that had tournaments, they already had people signed up to shoot their tournaments. I could probably do this one. Can't find the photo I want. All right, let's just go up here. All right, let's just go up to this one. Okay, so we have multiple people in here. So if I click this and I want to click subject, I want you to see how many people it detects. So I found 5 different people in this image, which is pretty much accurate. Yeah, and that's the thing, it depends on who your clients are. If you have clients that are really picky about particular things, you got to give them what they want. So, but anyway, you can see it picked out 5 different people. There's one of them. I could add another one if I wanted. There's the second one. There's the third one. There's the fourth one. And the fifth one's in the back. So I could select all 5 of them and edit them all at once. Or if I didn't want them, I could get rid of some of them. And I can do just the face. Even with their helmets on, it sees the face good enough. Got some body skin if I just want to work on that. Maybe get rid of some of the orange colors. Eyebrows. It even picks out the eyebrows. No, we've got the eye stuff going on. Iris and pupil. We got the hair. So you can really narrow it down now, which I believe is some things you've been able to do in Photoshop, but now you can do it in Lightroom as well, which is really, really cool. Then I tried this one earlier. It now has, if you go to the healing, you have a content aware as well. So instead of just picking out something that's similar, it's supposed to pick out, to get rid of it, something that's like exactly like what it should be, which I still need to work on that a little bit because I don't like how it's working, but yeah, come back here. Come back here. There we go. There we go. Get rid of that. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of fun. Yeah, you were doing that really early, weren't you, Sean? Trevor Director's been collecting my vendor fees for 20 plus years. That's good. I mean, you get that steady income coming in. But yeah, and the high schools around here, they don't care. They don't care if they have a specific photographer shooting their stuff. It's not that big of a deal to them. So. All right, yeah. All right, I'm going to call it a day, guys. It's been about an hour and a half that I've been streaming for you guys. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate everybody that's been here. Sean, Eric, Jack, Nick, Figgy, I'm missing somebody. Eric. Did I say Eric? I think I got most of you guys. I appreciate everybody showing in, stopping by. I love you guys. Thanks for dropping by. And don't forget, I'll throw this out one more time. Let me find it. For those of you interested. And Sean, you really should look into it. Getting into Discord. So I'll link to my Discord one more time. Yeah, maybe next time. I still want to do a video. I want to dive in more to the masking that Lightroom can do now, because it's come such a long way, and I want to learn it just a little bit better, because every once in a while there's an image I really just like and I want to do a little bit more to it. And another thing I'm kind of working on is reaching out to some of the local businesses, like restaurants. Some of them have photos in their restaurants, and it'd be kind of fun to get my stuff in there, because they want to have a lot of local stuff. So I'm thinking if I can get some of the local players, kind of get my stuff moved into there as well. And those ones I want to spend a little extra time on to really make them pop, to make them look really good, to where you're just like, hey, that's cool. Who did this? And then maybe it can get you some business, because you're always working every angle you can as a businessman. Right. Again, one more time, everybody, thank you for joining me. And I'm going to say goodbye. See ya. Don't forget, get out and shoot.